Hey Mystery Crew, it's Mystery Girl with Missy and Mystery Sister Sally. Welcome back, guys. If you're new here, welcome here for the first time. We want to say thank you to everyone for all of your continued support and for always hitting that like button. We also want to say, if you haven't subscribed yet, slam that subscribe button now. Guys, we have up our content warning because some of the material here in our videos may be traumatizing to some, and we also have up our copyright disclaimer for the videos and the pictures that we use throughout our series or an individual video. So we're going to move forward with our video, but take a look at what's to come.
Gilgo Beach serial killer was back in court today as prosecutors turned more discovery over to the defense team. Rex Heuermann made a brief appearance. His estranged wife, Asa Ellerup, was also in court with her support service dog and her attorney, but she did not speak. Heuermann is charged in the murders of 6 women and is the suspect in a 7th case. His next court date is set for October.
Rex Heuermann is back in court this week for another hearing ahead of his trial set for September. Now, police have charged him in June with the murder of 2 more victims, Jessica Taylor and Sandra Costilla. And now authorities are now naming a 7th victim. Her name is Valerie Mack. Heuermann, an architect and avowed family man, was first charged in July of last year with the murder of 4 women, their deaths stretching back decades. Joining me right now is Eric Faddis, partner and criminal defense attorney at Varner Faddis Elite Legal. Thank you so much for joining us right now. So what kind of evidence do you think investigators would use to tie Heuermann to these other bodies? So is it just their proximity to his home and to those other bodies? Is that enough?
Yeah, there's a ton going on in terms of this multi-decade investigation, Adrian. Certainly there is DNA evidence that has linked, allegedly, Rex Heuermann to one of the bodies. And then there are cell phone records. There are eyewitness accounts of his vehicle being in the vicinity of where these victims were and sometimes where some of their bodies were found. And so it is really a comprehensive investigation that is being brought together to add these murder charges in this case.
Besides Valerie Mack, or maybe that's the only one we really know much about, but are you hearing anything about these latest victims, these 3 women?
Adrian, just that it appears to be sort of, according to the government, Rex Heuermann's modus operandi. He targets specific types of victims. They are oftentimes engaged in sex work, and he is using burner phones. There are cell phone records tying him to these things, and there is actually a macabre manifesto that was found on his computer files that sort of detail his approach to these murders, allegedly.
And that's something that I was going to ask you about in terms of that document that was found on his computer. Very, very interesting notes, disturbing, I think is a better word, in terms of the hunt, which could be taken a couple of ways. But in terms of that document, could it be enough to seal a conviction in these cases?
Certainly some chilling stuff in that document. My understanding is that he speaks both generally, but also specifically about potential problems that can arise while he's hunting his alleged victims, supplies he might need, targets, dump sites for bodies. And so this is a trove of evidence that the government is going to use against him in this multi-homicide trial that could go down as soon as September.
Yeah, and it just seems like one of the most disturbing cases in recent memory. The judge deciding that Heuermann must be present at every court proceeding. Is that unusual?
It's not particularly unusual. Every now and again, a defendant will seek leave from the court to not be present for some specific reason, like, a child's graduation or something like that. Certainly not the case for Rex Heuermann. He is going to have to be in that courtroom, hearing these charges and presenting a defense to them.
All right, and he has pled not guilty on all charges. What would be, if anything, his alibi, besides that he's saying he didn't do it?
It's a Herculean undertaking for a defense attorney here. But one thing he could potentially argue is that his DNA was found on one of the victims, but really he just patronizes escorts, and he didn't kill any of them. There's also this thing that complicates matters with Sheriff James Burke, who was supposed to be in charge of the investigation, allegedly involved in some disgraceful dealings. And I think defense might try to shine a light on James Burke and what involvement, if any, he had in this entire saga.
Just even messier than we thought. Eric Faddis, thank you so much. Thanks for being on today. Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.